I hear you guys. I'll be with you in a moment, starting at the top of the hour. At least I know my audio is working. Can you hear me now? Let me know in audio, in chat, please, if you can hear me. And I think I know the reason why. It was an I/O problem, an idiot operator. So once again, welcome again to another live unboxing with Astropreneur. Hi to everybody who's been in a while. Tech Talking Ginger, cool. Yeah, I forgot to hit when I was playing the intros. I had the mute button on, and I forgot to hit the unmute button. Sorry, so it was an idiot operator error. Sounds good, excellent. Right, so welcome again. I hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. This is a long weekend for me. Actually, I'm not working again tomorrow, which is really nice. It's nice to have a short week. Yes, I'm doing a P1P today. It's the P1P. I have it here. It just consumes so much of my desk. I just stuck it on the floor. One thing I do like about it, it's not very heavy, right? Which I will say, but it does have proper carrying handles. Look at that. So it's easy to move. And I don't know why they have fragile glass on it, because there's no glass in the P1P. At least not that I'm aware of. The bed is not glass. The bed is PEI, I believe. I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to open the box on the floor because it's easier, because you have to lift it up out of the box. So it's easier to have it out of there. So how's everyone's day going and everyone's weekend going so far? I know a lot of you were hanging out over in Jerry's hangout yesterday, which I was in there with him also. And after this, I'll be at about 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll be going over to hang out for a while on the stream with the LA hobby guy, Louisiana hobby guy. Football. Yeah, well, I've seen other people doing unboxings, and it does look like it's packed very well. I like the air packing, which is really good, and it's a heavy plastic, so it doesn't the heavy duty blister packing that doesn't collapse easily. So that does make a big difference. Yeah, over in Riches, yeah, the LA hobby guy, LA meaning Louisiana. So I'll be over there in Riches stream. It's starting at around 2:00 today. So if you haven't been over there, you should go over. Playoffs. Oh, I'm not a soccer guy. I'm sorry. I grew up with rugby, not soccer, so I never warmed to soccer. My view on sports, if you're not bleeding, you're not bleeding playing. And you don't really bleed that much in soccer, but you do in rugby. So that's why rugby's more of a sport for me. Yeah, Jerry's going to be over over on Rich's stream as well this afternoon. So we're going to hang out there with Rich, talk about lasers and stuff. Yeah, I know. Oh, American football? Okay, if you take off the pads and you play American football, then you're getting close to what rugby is like. I know I'm going to get bombarded from that. Everyone has it's a sensitive topic. But yeah, no, we played without pads, so. So let's get unboxing. So we have 13 people on. Cool, that's great. So we're gonna unbox the printer. I'm gonna open it up on the floor. It's just easier because I have to lift it up out of there. I do have the additional light and fan kit that came with it. Obviously that will not be installing it today because I have parts to print for that, but I will be printing it on the Bambu Labs. So anything that goes into it will be printed, even its sides. I have actually designed sides with my logo for the surround for it, so I will actually be printing that on it also. So let's open this up and see. I can show you the inside. I have a camera for that. Let me get the box open. Get this camera over here and switch over. My fingers in the way. So this is the way it's packed right now. I like this heavy bubble wrapping. It's heavy duty. It doesn't collapse very easy. You take that out, you take that out, you take that out, and then you lift the printer out. Or you take out the bubble wrap around the sides. And then you lift the printer out. So let me go back to the main screen. Well, I lift the printer out of there. It's bigger on the inside. Why did I buy it? I bought it because well, the kit came with it. I got the printer because there's a lot of hype around it, and a lot of people are. There's actually two camps. There's a lot of people who are saying it's a fantastic printer. It's the bee's knees. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And then other people have turned around saying, "Well, I'm having this problem. I'm having this problem. I'm having this problem," and there's such a mix, just different mixed camps out there. Some people adore it. Some people hate it, and then, funnily enough, now I don't pick sides, but there's people being aggressive, very aggressive on both sides, and it's kind of pointless. We're a maker community, which means we work together, not that we combat and fight and bitch and moan about stuff. So I wanted to give my opinion on the printer, and I want something that prints a little faster because I don't have a Core XY machine. I have lots of FDMs, bed slingers and stuff, but I don't have a Core XY. So I wanted to get a Core XY, and this seemed to be the X1 seemed to be a little bit overkill on price, in my opinion. And the P1P would meet my Core XY needs, and also was a reasonable. I know reasonable price point is a very subjective term, but it was more reasonable than the X1 because the X1 starts at $1,000 and up. Was a P1P after shipping was about just over 700. So it made more sense to go that option. And I like the open design, and I can just customize it my own way, which I've already done. I've already designed the sides, I just haven't printed them yet. So, pull it up by the dog ears, and you're done. There's nothing else in the box. The box is empty, as well as taking half the roof down. Get all that crap out of the way. That's the unboxing done, guys. Let's go home. So let's get this open. See how easy it is to get this open. Let's see. It's bigger on the inside. Freezer top bubble wrap. Yeah. Setting up a new phone. Watching with sound down. Okay, no problem, Jeff. A lot of makers just want something that. Well, something that just works. Well, again, on the makers, there's two groups. There's the makers who want something that just works, and then there's makers who want something they can use as a project machine, modify, and so on. This is not a machine to be modified. Neither is the X1. It's designed to come out of the box and function. If you want something that's going to be modified, then you get something that is not in an enclosed case like this, and where you can do customizations and make changes to. This is not that machine for you. Now, over time, I'm sure there'll be some mods coming out for us, some slight changes. Right on top, we have our quick start guide, which we'll borrow because we'll be following its instructions like every other user does. Foam, more foam, cardboard, its accessories and toolkit, which we'll get to in a while. Desiccant, more foam. This is all on the inside, guys. All this foam is all in here. More foam. They're actually right here. Let me show you with a close-up camera. Get focus. The poop chute has foam. And then I have to cut these off in a moment, which I will do shortly. Over the SD card here. The SD card's already installed. And then this is a cable for your screen. Just peel off the tape for that. And I'll cut this off in a moment. Oh, more foam. Well, that's underneath. That stays there for a while. A lot of, hey Matt, yeah, a lot of people like to tinker. Spaghetti happens, yes, with any printer. I don't think there's a way out of that. So let me just get this out of here. So how heavy is it? It's not that heavy. It's got a magnetic build sheet, metal, double-sided. One says PLA, ABS, TPU, PC. They're both say the same thing, so these are universal. They're not like on the X1 that came with one side that was for coal, it was called a coal bed, and that was for like lower temp, like PLA, and then you flip it over for higher temp materials. This is all in one. Let me open this box to see what's in here. It's textured PEI, yes. They come. That comes default with the. I believe it's default with the P1P. That's what came in the box. Unless it was the early bird one that includes it, but I believe it's for everybody. Hey, old curmudgeon, how are you? How is life? I'm just opening up the accessories box. Let's see what's in here. It actually tells you on the outside what's in there. Sometimes I do get false spaghetti. Yeah, well, this by default doesn't have the camera, but I do have the camera kit because that came with the early bird. So I have to applaud Bambu Labs on one thing, something really important, other than the machine itself. You get a full spool of filament. That's how you do it, guys. Every other manufacturer out there, do this. None of this loose spools inside in the baggies. Trash. Proper spool, either a full spool or a half spool, but do spools. Right? And this is their matte white PLA. White is really bad for showcasing how a product prints initially, but it's what comes with it, so it's what we'll use. I'll just stick that over here. You get some PTFE tubing, which is to a spare, I believe. I'll need that later on. I got the screen. What else is in here? Disclaimer and safety guide. You won't need that. Some for 3D printed phone holder. Some little 3M pads. I'm not sure what they're for, but we'll find out later. What else is inside of this box? Is it all cardboard? There's a little foam pack. Oh, I dropped the needle. You get obviously a nozzle cleaning needle. And also in the same pack, you get, let's see what's in here. Screws, the filament guide that swivels, lubricant grease. This is the blade for this bed scraper, which we probably will try to avoid using. This is parts for fixing the scraper blade to the scraper when you 3D print it. The scraper does not come with the printer; these are printed, and the file should be on the card. Let's see. These are spare little adapters for your poop chute to clean the nozzle. It feels weird talking about a printer having a poop chute. I'm sorry, it does. This is an adapter for a thing for the hot end. You also have thermal grease for the hot end, and you actually get a spare hot end. Let's have a look at the hot end up close. Let me put this over here out of the way. Bring over the close-up camera. Switch over. So this is a spare hot end. I'm not impressed yet because I haven't seen the print. I'll get impressed when it prints well. But this is it's a 0.4. You can get 0.6 and 0.8, I believe, as well. And they also have an all metal version, like a hardened steel version. This is an all metal, but not hardened steel. I believe the hardened steel you have to buy from them. small, easy to install, I'd imagine. And the heater for the hot end actually clips on. Let me leave this here. Actually clips on to this. This is how it heats. So it's not like a normal heater cartridge that goes into the heater. This actually is what it clips on here and heats. So that's a spare. We don't need that yet. I'm going to put that back in here so I do not lose the components. And then we have our filament spool holder. We'll see how well this works out. We may have to create a mod for that one, because not all filament spools are that narrow. So we'll have to look at that. So this I will need, I'm sure. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, I forgot that. US power cable requirement. And I believe that's it. All right. Unpacking done. Hey, Dum Dum, how are you? It's been a while. Hey, Chris. See, did I miss anybody else? I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm streaming on Facebook, and I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm hitting them all today. I think unboxing should be shown everywhere. One thing that's not included, surprise, surprise. Let me get rid of this cracker in my way. They don't have one of these. No level cutters. So I'm going to cut the covering around the hot end. Take these out. And there's cardboard around the hot end that I'm going to take off. And that releases the Bowden tube. One end will go into your filament guide that will go in here. And the other end goes into your hot end, which is right over here. So let me show you that up close. Easy. Come on, get focus. So right here, you put in your PTFE tube, push it all the way in. That's it. You're done. No more to be done there. And when we put on the filament guide in the back, we'll actually connect up there. Or there's a little bit of tape on the front to take on for the cover, because the front cover is magnetic for the hot end. I suppose I should show you that. My finger's in your way. Sorry, one second, guys. So the front cover for this is actually, there's a bit of tape that was on here, and this is access into the extruder. They're held by little magnets. So far so good. Let's see. Just discover I've been looking at my bed mesh. Yeah, that does it. Yeah, it's about for the complete replacement hot end is something like $40 or something like that, $45. It depends. No, because of it won't be less efficient because because the way it's because the heating element or the heating area is so small and so thin. Clipping on would actually really heat it fast, and it actually covers most of this area, so it heats pretty fast. And it's kind of like a volcano hot end, where it's got a lot of surface area to be heated. And if you clip on and it heats that whole area right here, you're actually going to heat it really fast because there's less metal to heat. So I would assume it'd be faster to heat that way. No worries, Jerry, no worries. Hey, Vincent, how are you? So let me get this plugged in. I have power under here. So actually, I'm going to follow their instruction guide. So let me read the instruction guide. let's do it the way they say you're supposed to. So, and I have to admit, I cheated a little bit. I looked on the instructions online, and they are very short. I mean, very, 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 very short. So you have, first of all, you get the, let me push it over the way. You get the overview of what everything else is in there. I know. I cheated. I just looked, but in all fairness, the instructions are so simple. It's you don't really even need to look at them really. So cut off the. You probably can't see that there. Let me set this up here so you can read with me. So, says cut off the bends, which I did. The tie wraps. Next step is to remove a bracket in the back, which I'll do next, and attach the spool holder. Then you have to do 2 screws here to attach your filament filament guide, and then run the cable, plug the cable into it. And then you have to remove the 3 screws on the base here, which I'll show you, which holds the bed in place. Plug in the screen and lock it into place, and then you're done. And then that's it. Hey, Soka, hey, how from Sweden? And then you bind it with your phone. That's it. That's the instructions. They're not. It's not brain science. It's not like it's not brain surgery. It's very, 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 very simple. I told you. So it's not really cheating because it doesn't give you much, because there's not much needed apparently. So let's go through these steps. I'm going to switch this around this way so you can have you can watch. I need something to stand the instructions up. There we go. Some paint. Let's stand the instructions up and we both go through it together. So I have to flip this around. Do a 180. So there's one bolt, as it says here, there's one bolt in the back here that we need to take off. And we are going to use this wrench from the kit. There's only one wrench in the kit. I'm going to take off this one bolt. Let's remove those. So it's only one you remove. So let me show you here on the back. It actually says spool holder assembly holes. You take this one off, but you reuse this, and you add a second screw here to hold on your spool holder. And it's actually marked clearly. Can't miss that. So let's get this back over here so you can see the instructions as we go. And let's remove this. So that one screw is out. Actually, it's probably not reusing, I'm guessing. So what does it say here? Remove the screw. So these screws say for extruder, so they're not the ones we want. For DIY shell, which we don't need yet. See here? Screws say for spool holder. Come on, focus. There you go. So spool holder, screws, easy enough. We're going to attach it to the same spot, so the screw you take out does not get used anymore. And there's 2 screws in there that are longer than the one you took out, so that's perfect. Let's get one on. Let's get it started. And I just dropped it. This is like a Tim stream. Where did it go? I dropped it and I can't find it. Oh, there it goes. It landed on something else. So it's really long because you can put it right through your spool holder into the bolt. You're not dealing with trying to finagle around stuff. Look at that. Right through. That started on. Done. Let's do screw number 2. Nice and tight. Okay, done. Spool holder is fitted. Next it says, so that's all done. I've done the PTFE already. I need to run the adapter, which is this little adapter, which is PTFE guide. And the screws are already in the box, in the pack with it. So that goes on in the back. And it's designed to swivel. So let me show you where that goes on. Let me show you I got it right. Okay. I was going to show you on the back of the printer where it goes. It actually plugs in right here on top. And it actually swivels up and down. So let's get that installed. It's only 2 screws. One holds it in place and locks it in, and the other actually is a pivot point. Now I'm guessing if you decide to put a cover on this and put a chain on it, you'd have to to run the cable through a what's it called, a guide rail. You would have to move this to a different position because you have to probably bring it in here, the slot here that's in the back. You lock that on. Everything's locked in tight. Including my spool holder. Okay. What's next? It says unlock the 3 screws in the bottom. Okay, so I need to turn it 180 again. I'll show you in the close-up camera where they are. Just let me get it around. So in the close-up camera, there's 3 screws. One's here, one here, and one here, and they're all marked with that little red arrow. Those need to come out because they're holding the bed in place. Again, same wrench. That needs a little bit of a torque. There we go. What's going on here? Let's see. Hey, Ben. It's been a while. Okay, that's not gripping very well. That's the screw's a little bit on the worn side, so I have to take it approach it differently. Well, actually, I probably have a longer wrench that will fit that. Let me see. This one maybe too long, too big. Yeah, it's too big. Oh well, we'll get it out of there. We just do it the slow way. So how is everyone else going? Everyone who's joined us, 17 people, cool. So we're actually removing the screws that are holding on the P1P bed to lock it in place for transportation. Let's see, how is Sergio, HVAC? Yeah, Richard did a video, I know that, yeah, short. I will. I'll also do so. These are really long screws that hold the bed, that lock the bed down, stops it from shifting and moving during transport, which is a good idea. I like that idea. I think this wrench is worn already. It's a soft metal. Yeah, the ball end of that wrench is worn. So we're going to have to do it the hard way. No, Matt. Yeah, there's no giveaways. Matt's not here. That's right, Jerry. Matt only turns up for giveaways. We all know that. So funny. We give him such a hard time about that. It's kind of funny. He wins everything, though. You have to admit, because he's on everywhere, he wins a lot. So to his credit, it pays off for him. It does. Now, the man doesn't sleep either. But not wrong, Matt. Mr. Key or Mr. K. Wrong, Matt. It's Matt German we're referring to, which I'm sure you've seen on about 5,000 other streams. Matt is our giveaway king. We give him a hard time about it. It's just in fun. But yeah, he does win an awful lot. His giveaway success is disproportional, let's say. But he's a nice guy, and he hangs out with us on our streams all the time. But yeah, I would say his success rate is kind of high. Undo it now. So yeah, so I'm just taking out these 3 screws, and then next we will attach. And I'm actually going to come around to the side so you can see how the camera is attached. So this is the camera. The camera's next to go on. Let me see. Yeah, it is. The camera's next. So unpack the camera. So it's not the same camera as the X1, and it cannot take the same camera as the X1. It can't be done. So I'm going to spin this around. I'm going to go off screen, and I'm going to move over to the main, and you can watch what I'm doing here. So let me spin that around, and I'm going to go around to the other side of the printer. So the main camera will pick this up. So I'm off camera. I'm here. I just want to show you this up close. So this plugs in here. It's kind of awkward to get in there, but it's keyed. Clips in, and then this goes on this side. Oh no, it goes on this way. And you basically line these up. One second, get this tucked out of the way. Make sure it's on the inside of the frame. Slide over. Done. Ready for an ASMR moment, guys? You ready? Watch. Now all of our ASMR guys are happy. Screen is installed, nice and easy. While it's facing me, because that's the last. Other than pairing it with my phone, which I don't have to do yet. Actually, I do because it needs to do updates and stuff. I'm going to plug it in. It's already off. There's no voltage switch, actually. Let me look underneath. There is no voltage switch, so it must be auto switching voltage. And when this gets ready for printing, I'll actually turn it around towards the main camera. You don't need to see me on screen while this is printing. That's more important than me. So it's done. I think, looking at the instructions, we've done the camera, we've installed this. Now it says printer binding. So I have the app already on my phone. So let's power it up, which is in the back here. I'm actually going to show you the screen as it powers up. Before use, please make sure that you have read your user manual carefully. Yes. Okay, so you do. There's no touch screen, so you do next. The screws from the bed, we have removed them. Yes, that's good. It should say screws. That should be plural. That's a singular screw, S-C-R-E-W. There should be a plural there. It's not plural, which it should be. They have to fix that. It should do. Go down and choose North America. Scan the code to configure Wi-Fi and user account on Bambu Handy app. Okay, so let's do that. Let me put this out of the way. I'll go back to the main screen. I have the app. I need to go to my camera. Scan. Oh, I have the app already. So I don't have to use the app. Let me open the app. Add a printer. Allow. Unbind device. There it is. Read and accept. Confirm to bind. So I'm doing all this on my phone. Just going to join my network. Let me just set up on my network. Oh, there's one thing they need to fix here. That's a bummer. They don't have the ability to add some hidden networks. I have a hidden network. I have one that's not hidden as well, but I'd rather join the hidden. Let's see if this binds. It doesn't have the option to join hidden networks, and I do not broadcast my networks at home. I'm just going to bind it to my network. Just 1 second, guys. I prefer my hidden network because it's local here where I'm set up. Let's see if this works. I can always skip and do a setup later, but let's see if I can get it to work. That way then I can control it from my phone. Working on it, saving up for the P1P. Nice. Basically 2 to 3 paydays away. Not very good. Hey, C, how are you? So you got your P1P? No. Oh, your X1. Okay. It's stuck on binding. Let's skip it for now. I'll do it later. So we'll do set up later. Terms and conditions, agree. Request help to improve everyone's print scan. Let's skip that. Self-test. Start. Now, when the bed moves up, I have to remove the padding underneath it. So the bed's moving up, pads out. So let me swing this around so you can see what it's doing. So you can hear the sound. It's actually performing resonance compensation, I believe. So it's moving the bed up, first of all. And it's going through its self-test. Yeah, and I come onto YouTube sometimes and I'm doing unboxings and so on. I do a lot more over on Twitch, like Hangouts and stuff, but when I'm doing unboxings, I like to do them over here. So it's going to do an ABL. It's going to do bring the bed up right now. Yeah, it's been a while. How are you doing? How is life over in Israel? Okay. That wasn't resonance compensation yet. Yeah, not till I'm ready to print. It's here. It's just pushing there. That's all it is. But yeah, I hadn't done that, but I would have gotten to that when I was putting the spool in anyway. So now it's doing resonance compensation. It's actually vibrating the head. Let me get up close so you can see it with the close-up camera. Can you hear the sound of it, the different frequencies? Well, you can hear that one for sure. It's going to blow! My cash flow from work has been insane. Okay, so it's actually sensing the vibration. So it's in resonance compensation. That was on the y-axis, I believe. So now the pitch is getting so high in the resonance that it's actually going away from, I can just about hear it. So it started off really low and it got louder, and then to a frequency that was easy to hear, and now it's going through the resonance speeds that's beyond what I can hear. I can barely hear it now. Yeah, Nadav is in Israel. I'm almost sure. If I remember correctly, he's in Israel. So that's really getting high pitched now. I mean, you probably won't hear it if I put the microphone up to it. I thought it was Nadav. Oh, where are you based, Nadav? I thought you were in Israel. Here we go. Now it's the x-axis. Let me come over here. You probably can't see it on camera. The big camera probably shows it better. It is actually vibrating left to right on the x-axis now. And again, let me come off this camera, go back to the main one's better. And now it's actually going down the x-axis. And again, you can hear the sounds changing. Oh, you're in New Jersey. Okay. So you can hear it. Now it's going outside of a frequency on the x-axis that we can't hear, or can barely hear. I can, but I don't think the microphone will pick it up. I know who you're. Oh, Cleo, how are you? Yeah, I was just making sure it was actually still moving, because it went to the point I couldn't hear it anymore. I'll redo the resonance testing once it gets moved to its permanent position. I'll make it go in and redo its resonance testing. While it's doing that, and it's almost done now, I'm going to get the spool ready to be mounted. Where did I put my cutters? So let's see what it says. I'm going to come around the front because you can see the screen while I'm doing it as well. Self-test complete. Your printer is working normally. Enjoy printing. Finish. Okay. So let's go over. I'm going to zoom in on the menu with my main cameras. You don't have to use a close-up for that. It might be better if I do it on the main camera. So let me get my zoom set up. Loosen this. 1 second, guys, while I move this around. We'll come back to it later. So a nice close-up of the main camera. I cannot see the screen, so hold on a second, guys. So we have the home, which shows you the temperatures. It shows you the print speed. Ready to print, you have your hot bed temperature and time. Come down one. It's a bit kludgy, the screen. It's not as nice as the touch screen that comes with the main one, the X1. You have temperature settings, bed settings, unload, filament feed in, home, move your axes. This is account is not logged in because I didn't do that. This is my network, SD card, It's 29 gig. Model name Bambu Labs P1P. Actually, let's go over here and see what it says over here. Firmware version. I'll have to join the network in a while to do that. Again, I will do a manual self-test when I move it to its permanent home. Auto sleep in 15 minutes. That's when the job is done. Do a force or factory reset, and its serial number. And then I go over here again, down here, and then we have the file. So I have a Benchy, Dino Puzzle, Bambu Labs spool, which is, these are one of the spools these are the locking spools that come with it by default. Spool part 1 and 2, if you want to print your own spools. Let's see what else is on this. Scraper, which we'll have to do. A puzzle, fan support for PLA, film sticking feature. I do not know what that is, so I'll have to look at that. Honeycomb organizer, mini tray, auto diameter gauge. Okay, so there's a few things in there. I will do the scraper, just in case it's needed. But we might actually start off with a Benchy, but apparently it's ready. So let's go back up here, and we'll go up and we'll set the extruder temperature. How do I change that? Oh, there we go. Up to 200 degrees, and I'm gonna load filament. It's super sensitive. Okay, 205. Let's start heat up, and I'm gonna get ready to load filament. It says here temperature resistance 70 degrees C for the filament here. It says print recommendations 190 to 230. Sorry, there you go. So let me back out of that and go back to where I was set up before. There we go. And I'll go around this. I'll go around over here and I'll get our filament started. While that's heating up, I'll just manually push it in. This is a matte white. Not good for showing print quality, but we use what comes with the printer, right? Let's see what's here. My second daughter was born in 91. We had 9 grandkids. Ooh, 9 grandkids? Wow. Film fixing feature is like a big squeeze. Fixing feature. Okay. Let's see. AC's group joint. Okay. Even if you have a I know. Okay, so filament. Let's get it mounted on. Start feeding it into the hot end. I believe this little switch on the side is to allow extruding manually. No? Thought it would be, but it's not apparently. I thought this is the manual release. Allow you to feed and fill it, but it's not. So I'll use the menu. I think I'll have to use the menu. So we'll just hit a low unload. We'll go back over here. We'll go back up temperature. Sorry, go back over here. Why won't it allow me to go back? Go back. Oh, there we go. Unload. I don't see a load feature. Did I miss it? Okay, we have an unload feature. We have fans on and off, but I don't have a load feature. Interesting. Okay. So E. So starting to load now. So it has a load feature. It doesn't have an unload or an unload feature. It doesn't have a load button. Let me turn this around to me so I can see what I'm doing on screen. So it has a load option, but it doesn't have an unload option, which is kind of, or it has an unload but no load option. It's kind of weird. But I'm going to extrude in a couple of pieces. Yep, it's coming out the poop chute. It's loaded. All right. Let's do. Let's see. Sorry, I missed the chat, guys, because I was doing this. Yeah, I E up and down. I saw that. Not a good way of doing it. They had a load feature where it loaded like 50 millimeters at a time. Once you got the extruder, you hit load, it does 50 millimeters, and you're done. So they need to fix that. It's kind of kludgy the way it is right now. I don't like that. Having to push over and over and over again. It does 10 millimeters at a time. It's kind of a waste of time. Yeah, I have the early bird gift. I'll be fitting it. I have to print the parts for it yet. But before I print anything, I want to clean this bed. So let me get some wipes. And some alcohol. I want to clean this bed down. Hey, John, how are you this morning? How is life over in the Windy City? Miller, hey, how are you? Let me wipe this off. Nothing coming off in the bed, which is good. Just let that dry. You can just push the films all the way to the extruder. Yeah, well, I know, but you'd often like want to make sure it's feeding properly before you do anything else. Oh, something stuck to me. And I prefer to actually see it coming out right before I start printing. You know, they're going to do a load feature. Well, I haven't done a software update on this, a firmware update on this yet. I'm just using it as is. I tried to join it, get it to join a network, and it kind of didn't like my network, so I'm going to have to fix that. It'd be nice via software if I can force it to update. Let me clean the bottom down here. It's a little bit dusty. So I think we're ready to go. I'm going to turn it towards you, and I'm going to turn on the print so we can see it printing. And if I have to move my camera, I will to get a better view. So I'm going to set up the print. I'm going to do the Benchy to see how fast I can do a Benchy. So let me spin around towards you. Actually, let me start the process. I'm going to go to the menu. I'm going to go down to choose. Okay. I don't like this back button. I do not like this back button. I'll do the let's do the Benchy. Why not? Everybody does a Benchy. I normally don't do Benchy as test prints, but let's see how fast I can do a Benchy. I'm going to turn it towards you once I kick off the process. Benchy. 55 minutes it says. Print. So getting ready to print 200. Okay, I clicked Benchy. It's facing towards you so you can see what I see. Ignore all the cardboard box in the background. I have to tidy all this up while that's getting ready. You know what? Their packing that it comes with, I like this packing. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to use that. That is definitely not going to be packed. Sure, she turned that camera more better. I can zoom in a little bit more as well. There you go. That's a better view. Let's see what's in chat. Matt, we were just talking about you. We can now click your heels 3 times together and Matt turns up. I just opened the Bambu handy and the camera's working. Most of it on YouTube, that's fine. I don't care where you're watching from. The fact that you're here hanging out with me is great. If you haven't already, and if you're first time to the channel, please, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. Subscribers on Twitch are always welcome. If you're on Facebook, follow the channel. Just click those buttons and give it a thumbs up to what you're seeing. It all helps promote the channel, so please do so. I like with it's like the old. Sometimes some stuff in printers can be like the old Windows games. Instead of being plug and play, it was plug and pray. Okay, it just cleaned the nozzle. It's going out probably do an ABL, I'm guessing. That baby can move. So it's oozing. So you see the screen better than I can actually, where you are, and you get to see what the printer's doing as well. And when it gets to printing, I would actually drop the camera down so we can actually look inside as it works. So it is, the poop chute is working. It's running right now. But as I was saying, it's like the old Windows machines, you know, instead of plug and play, they were plug and pray. I think more and more plug and play stuff would be nice in printers, but it takes a lot of work for firmware to get there. Fan is coming on. I'll do a pooping because it poops. Look, a pooping printer. I'll add one. I'll probably do a slide that comes down so we can actually access from the side. Because having to reach around the back of it to get it all the time is a pain in the butt. Nozzles cleaning. So I will get on the network later on today, and I'll get a firmware update done to it, and then when I move it to its permanent home, I will redo the resonance testing again, because every time you move the printer to a different location, you should rerun resonance testing, because the resonance frequencies are going to vary slightly depending on where it's situated. Okay. Resonance testing again. Let's blow off any dust. Let me see, did it do a whole temperature while it's doing this? It did. So it brought the temperature to 140 degrees. Bed is 65, but it's 140 on the nozzle. So it's hot. So it's hot, but it's not oozing. So it's because it's below the glass temperature or melting temperature of the filament. And it's doing its testing at that point. So then when it's ready to print, it just reheats up a small bit more to actual print temperature. And massive nest. Yeah, no, I'll stick something behind it, but for now it'll be on this desk right here, because I do want to print the utility kit parts, like for the lights and so on, that go onto it, and I'll do that here. And I do want to print I'll print the sides, but before I do the sides, I have another project I want to print on this, and I want to see how it goes. I know, but it does. It looks like it does a far more comprehensive one, because right now it's doing it, but it looks like it does a far more comprehensive one as part of the startup process, or like the initialization process in the printer, which it does a lot more resonance checking. So I'd rather park it wherever it's going to be, run it there, and then after that, let it start up. The start G code do whatever it's doing. So it's doing ABL. Yeah. It did seem more comprehensive because I could hear it go. Now it's doing one right now, but it's very fast. So when you go, you heard it just do a vibrate just there on the x-axis. So when you go to initialize, it goes through all the frequency ranges. Now it looks like it's heating up to print temperature. There's our initial line. That's our test line printed. Watch this thing go, guys. Let me move the camera over and zoom in on this. You don't need to see me. Now, it's not quiet by any measure because it's moving so fast. Hey, Matt. And yes, my whole bench, my monitor and everything is wobbling all over the place. So wherever you put this, make sure it's somewhere very stable because my monitor is waving on camera. By leaning on the bench, I'm actually stabilizing it a little bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is print speeds that printers should be operating under. We shouldn't be printing at 60 millimeters a minute anymore. Now, I will have to run multiple prints to see how good the quality is out of it, and people sing its praises. And it looks like it's only doing 2 walls on the print. I normally do 4 outer walls to make the parts more solid. Yeah, but I want it for. I know you said standard speed is not so bad, but I want it for fast prints. And the main speed is actually on the infill. The infill is ridiculous speeds. Oh, you have to bolt to the wall. Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Imagine having 4 or 5 of these printing side by side on the same shelf. Like, you'd have to make that thing rock solid. I'm going to do something that might be funny. I want to see you, like, you don't really see it shaking there. Do I have tape? I have to watch my monitor. I'm worried it will shake so much my monitor will come off the table. I know I have to get someone. So I'm going to put the close-up camera on it, and you can see how much it's wobbling. Because I'm going to hold it on, but you'll still see, I think. I'd say setting it on a concrete floor is the only way to stop this thing from vibrating, Jerry. Yeah, this thing is. Matt, how are you doing? I would say you need more than a car. I think you need to have a concrete slab, like a concrete floor, or a concrete table to put this thing on to keep the vibration out of it. You speak of a paver slab. I think a paver would help with noise reduction, but I don't think it would help an awful lot with vibration speeds. This thing is fast. Do not adjust your set. What you are seeing is real. Yeah, I'm leaning. My table is a sturdy table. I built it myself. It's out of solid wood, but it's still shaking a lot, and it's a really sturdy table. I'm leaning on it to decrease the amount of vibration on the table. I think when I'm printing this, until I get it, till it goes to its permanent home, I may put it on the floor and print there. So we're almost done. It's starting to print the back deck of the Benchy. And it is noisy. You can hear the noise because if you're really near my microphone is about this far away from it. My microphone is right here, just off the side of it here. Hey, Humdrum. It's supposed to take a few minutes to print, maybe 15 minutes. Oh, look at that thing rock. And this is doing top layers. The outer dimensions, I'll have to change my views because I can't leave my camera up there. It will not stay there. So do I have a ruler right by me? Let me find it actually. I have it on the outer dimensions. I know I have it open on a website somewhere. Let me go have a look. I have its specs up somewhere. So it's not very big. Let's see. Body volume is the print volume is 256 by 256 by 256. They don't have the outer dimensions listed here. They don't have it on their website. I'll measure it for you in a while, Chris. Yeah, it's about 3. It may not even be that big. I thought I had a ruler here. I don't have my ruler, but I can guesstimate it for you. About 370 wide. And that was a rough using this. I can't find my actual ruler to measure it, and I'll have to find it. Yeah, I'm impressed with the speed, and let's see how the print quality is when it's done. I'm more interested in the quality of the print out of it. Silent goes to 50%, still faster. Yeah, I know it does have other modes. I'll be looking at metal shelving. Yeah, even on a metal shelving, I would be fixing it to the wall. I would make sure it's actually mounted. The metal shelving is strapped to the wall, because one of these would be bad. If you have more, ever go to get more than one of these, man, that's going to shake the hell out of your systems. So, whatever you put it on, make sure it's sturdy. That's fast. That Benchy is mostly done. Maybe 18 minutes for a Benchy. Like I have metal shelves and racks here behind me, all around behind me as well. I'm just zoomed in the main camera so you can watch what's going on here. I need to move it over this so you can see the screen better. The trains I normally do for Toys for Tots. I check them. Normally, when I print them, if I do adaptive infill, I can do them in about 9 to 10 hours at 70 millimeters. I check this standard PETG print on here, and at the speed it runs at, I can do a train in about 4 hours. No, don't set it on the shelf with any printer because it'll destroy any other printer's print speeds. Actually, I think this would be perfect for a countertop. I really do. Now it's doing the front deck. So we started at top of the hour. We're just over an hour. And I think we'll be done before this hour is over. Well, this print will be well done before then, but yeah, guys, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And make sure you ding that bell. And if you're on Twitch, following on Twitch is really appreciated. If you want to subscribe on Twitch, it'd be appreciated also. It all helps the channel. This was not sent to me by Bambu Labs. They're not sponsoring this. I bought this out of curiosity myself. And I wanted the Core XY, and then it got a lot of good ratings. Some of those ratings has changed. People who apparently were big advocates at first have kind of changed their tone a little bit. Some people have, but a lot of people, the general consensus is it's a good machine, which is why I opted to go this route. There is another Core XY that's coming out that's going to be a 300 by 300 build volume, bigger than this, a little bit bigger, and that's coming February or March, I believe. But it's not by Bambu Labs, by a different manufacturer, but they're working on it. They had it similar to this, and it kind of looks the same, like this. Got a bigger screen than this one does, and then even the X1, it's got a bigger screen than the X1. But I'd like to see that machine and compare them side by side because this thing is rocking. It's really fast. I'm going to get a good. Well, I'll go up to the close-up camera when I'm done, and we'll have a look and see how it looks in the close-up camera. I have to say that's the fastest Benchy I've seen to date, ever. And like, I know the Vorons can print really fast. I don't have a Voron, but they can print really fast. But yeah, this is impressive. But we'll look at the print quality when it comes off the printer in a while. Anyone have any questions about the printer? I have to measure the outside. I'll need to find my ruler to measure the outer dimensions. But it's about 370 by 370, I'm guessing. You need to add a bit more on the y-axis because you have the spool holder at the back as well. So you'll have to accommodate for that, whatever space you're setting up. Just bought a super sticker. Oh, Jerry, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Oh, that's weird. It didn't show up on screen. But thank you so much, Jerry. It's really appreciated. 3DP UK, how are you? So we're doing the fastest Benchy I've ever done. It's going to take about 15 minutes maybe. And we are almost there. Unboxing and setting up the printer is easy. We walked through, we showed everything, so it was easy to set up. So we're doing our first print. And so far, it looks great. But we'll closely inspect it when we take it off the print bed. I'm guessing this is doing maybe somewhere between 300 and 400 millimeters. and a second print speed. This can actually print by default. The settings and the profiles for this printer will not print the same as the X1 because the X1 has got the built-in additional fan. I do have the kit to add to this that came with the printer, and I have to print some parts for that. But once you add those, you're supposed to be able to print. You can tune the change the settings to print at the same speed as the X1. Now you won't be doing ABS or ASA or nylon or polycarbonate or anything like that on it because I don't have the sides for this yet, but I do plan to print the sides. But until you get those sides on, you will not be able to print those higher temp materials because of warping and so on. You need temperature stabilization. I hope you guys can hear me over the noise of the printer. And while that's going, I'm going to have something to drink. Yeah, you can hear. Okay, good. Hey, Chris, how are you? Into a close-up look how it looks. There is some artifacts, a little bit. I'm doing well, Chris, very well. And you? So starting on the roof of the Benchy now. Okay, I cannot pronounce that name. Don't even. I'm not even going to attempt. But hey. XXIMC Raz. It looks like a good machine. Let's see how it's like. This is first print, so let's see how it comes off. I'm guessing at the breakneck speeds, you may not get perfect quality, but we'll see how it comes out. From just looking at it, I can see some lining that shouldn't be there. So we may have to tweak the settings a little bit to get a perfect print, or maybe slow it down a fraction. The one thing I don't like, now they have improved, they have made changes to the Prusa slicer. Their slicer is based on Prusa slicer. It is squeaking. It's squeaking like that. That's first top layer. I have to inspect that. I'm hoping it's just the speed that's making it that loud. I'll have to run some prints at slower speeds. I'll have to slice some stuff at slower speeds and see how it goes. Yeah, so their slice is a Forca Prusa slicer. They've added some stuff to it, but it is a Forca Prusa slicer, and I do not like Prusa slicer. I have to admit, I do not like Prusa slicer. I think their UI is old and clunky. I haven't spent enough time in their slicer to see what I think of it. But there's a lot of aspects of Prusa slicer. Its UI needs a lot of work. It's outdated. It's clunky. You can tell it was built and stuff was stuck onto it to make it add features rather than designing it to fit into the UI properly. So yeah, it is. I believe it, but I want to be sure. I want to make sure that certain movements make a higher pitch zone, and I know it's the kinematics, and I know it's the speed, but I want to do some checking at various speeds myself to see can I improve print quality based on it, which I'm sure it will. But the breakneck speed is nice. Like this speed is phenomenal. That's what I'm. So Cleo, yeah. So yours is not that loud. That was my fear. So I'll have to do some testing to find out to see if I can identify where it's coming from. So it's doing the top of the Benchy now. It's doing the smokestack. I'll go through everything and make sure it's tightened up to make sure everything's good. The speed does add noise to it. It does, but it shouldn't. It does sound like there's something. There's a little bit of a rattle somewhere, and I'm going to have to go through everything to make sure that everything's moving smoothly, all the bearings. Guys, that's a fast Benchy. That's a very fast Benchy. Pops right off. So I'm going to do the close-up camera. This is a matte, so it's going to look really good, but let's do the close-up camera. You see what I mean? There's some artifacts there on the side. That line is supposed to be there, but these are not. The underside, that's part of the print bed that came off. The text is pretty good. It is a textured finish, so the text is pretty good. Didn't exactly close the layers over here where the infill meets. It did not actually close it out. So that would be deemed as a tape on the carbon fiber. I did. I'll have a look in a second. The text at the back is completely it cannot be read at all. Not a chance. Can't be seen. The bridging and overhangs. The bow has some issues. And the bridging and overhangs look okay though. Top surface it's hard to see in white, but it looks pretty clean. Again, not enough top layers. You see in the center, inside the bridge there, it didn't close it out. Inside, right inside here, it did not close out the layers. So there's not enough layers, and this speed Benchy has only got 2 layers in it. That's not going to work. Let me get out of the way. So it didn't close out there. So is it a perfect print? No. Is it a decent print? It's all right. The top surface of these are nice, and the stack did okay, but you do have the Z. You see the Z layer where it changes, stops and ends each pass. So is it perfect? No. Is it good? I would say it's okay. It's an okay first print. I wouldn't say it's ideal. I wouldn't say it's perfect in any way, shape, or form. Let me zoom out here so I can go back to the main screen. So, go back over here. So, is it Benchy perfect? No. Is it good? It's not bad. I've done better. I think they don't have enough top and bottom layers in that model. That's why the layers didn't close out here and inside the wheelhouse and the bridge here. The layers on the top surface didn't fully close out. But other than that, it's not bad. You cannot read the text at all in the back. It's too small. There's no way to read it. Yeah, it is slice by speed. I agree. When you look right inside the tape on the access door, I removed the tape on the access door. Let me come around here. I want to see what you're talking about. There's tape was here and I removed it. There's none on this side. No, I removed the tape, Sergio. There was a bit of tape on here on the access door, right by right below the fan, but that's gone. Oh, you mean this? And what's this for? What's that? So this piece of tape, you mean? What's that for? What's that access door for? Oh, I do. So what is that cover for? So tell me what that cover's for. I haven't opened it, so tell me what's in there. So I think it's a decent Benchy. Oh, it's a carbon filter. Oh, okay. So I think it's a decent Benchy. I think I normally do prints with a minimum of 4 tops. This only had 2, which explains why it wasn't perfect. I would normally do 4 tops, 4 bottom, or 6, maybe 6 top, 6 bottom, and 4 walls. This only did 2 walls, but it did a decent job. I like what came out of it. I think it can do a little bit better with a little bit of tuning and a profile and so on. I think it can do better. But for a very first print straight off the SD card, it's not bad. There's no stringing at all in the inside. 0 stringing. Oh, wait, there's one string way back in here. I think I might be able to show you that in the camera. Can I? See, can we get it focused? See, 1 string. That's the only string in the whole thing. But that's good going. It's really only used for the fully. Yeah, well, I'll be enclosing this. I'm going to print my own panels for the sides of it. I've already planned to do that. I believe the charcoal and carbon are the same for filtering. Yes, I believe they are. It is a slimmed down version of the X1. It doesn't have the LiDAR. There's a few things it's missing. It doesn't have I don't think it has a built-in carbon filter, even though there's an opening there for it. It doesn't have the side cover panels. The board is different, I believe, because it can't take the X1 screen. You can't mount onto this. They've clearly said no, you cannot do that. Could you buy the board for the X1 and buy the LiDAR and mount it on this? Yes, probably. I'm sure you could do that, and then you could put the X1 screen on this if you wanted to do it. But at that point, like, why just not buy the X1? I generally don't do a lot of high temp materials. Like, I don't do ABS ever. I don't like the smell of ABS. It's just nasty smell out of it. ASA I might explore. I've done a little bit in the past, but not an awful lot. Like nylons, again, you could do this with this machine when it's enclosed. ASAs and so on, you could do it with this machine enclosed. I won't do ABS, but there is stuff you can do. But it just, yeah, it has a different processor. So that's what I'm saying. You could probably buy the board and mount the board in there and do a few switches around, and you could be there. I'm sure if you wanted to pay the expense over time to modify this to the X1, you could get there. You are stuck with it, but if you replace the board, in theory, you could actually add the other screen. If the cable is the same, right? Or you may have to run a cable. If you replace the board, you could add LiDAR, and you do the X1 firmware on the different board. So as it is, no, you can't upgrade it to those options. It does come with a light kit, which I have to install. I have to print a part to install it. It does come with the additional cooling fan that mounts on the side over here, which I do have, and I have to print a part to mount it. I have designed my own side panels with my logo on it, with the Astroprinter logo on it, which I will be adding to them over the next few weeks. I'll be printing those. But as it is, it knocks out a mean part. A very fast benchy and a fairly clean benchy as well, with a little bit extra top and bottom layers. If it had 3 top and 3 bottom layers, or 4 top and 4 bottom layers, it would be a perfect benchy, but it wouldn't be printed as fast, but it would be a perfect benchy. Small bit of artifacts, slow it down a fraction. I'd say if you print it within 30 minutes, you'd get it done. Yeah, I do believe the charcoal and carbon filter are the same, so you probably could fit one to this, but I think a little bit, if you re-slice the benchy with a couple of extra top layers and bottom layers, and slow it down a fraction, and you get the print done in half an hour, you'd still have a really fast benchy in 30 minutes, and you'd probably get a perfect benchy at that. I only print PLA and Benchy and TPU, so it will work for all. Yes, it'll be perfect for PLA, Benchy, and TPU. It is direct drive setup. Then here's one thing I do like. It's set up. It's keyed right now for a reverse Bowden setup. So your Bowden, it's direct drive, and your Bowden is for feeding your filament into the printer. If you had, if you want to do like ASA or other high temperature materials that you need to keep dry, like nylon or whatever, especially nylon, you could actually take out this little feeder tube that's actually back here for the filament to feed into it. Replace it with a longer Bowden tube into a filament dryer, and put your nylon into a filament dryer. So dry it first I dry mine in a food dehydrator first. I dry everything in a food dehydrator, and then mount it into your filament dryer and keep the filament dryer running. And then you could have a reverse Bowden setup, so especially nylon is never exposed to the air, and it's always kept warm. It's always dehydrated, and then it's kept in the tube right to the hot end. So it's ideally set up for a reverse Bowden setup. But yeah, I mostly do PLA, Benchy. I do some TPU, not a lot, but I do some. I have done a little bit of ASA. I don't do ABS ever. But I've done a little bit of ASA, not much, but I've done some. Maybe I'll explore doing more ASA stuff here for the higher temperature and higher and stronger material. I might even explore, if I do get a carbon filter for it, which I may at some point, I'll explore the option of putting in the carbon filter for doing nylons, maybe at some point. But all in all, yes, having spare nozzles is a good idea. If you printed that Benchy with a 0.6 or a 0.8 nozzle, imagine how fast that would print. It did it right now in 18 minutes. With a 0.6 or 0.8 nozzle, you'd probably do it in 10 minutes. Because you have less walls. Because that did 2 outer walls. With a 0.8 nozzle, that's 1 outer wall. Is all you need to get the exact same results. So I probably will at some point get larger nozzles you don't buy nozzles for this. You actually buy the whole hot end for about $20, I think it is. That's a 0.4. You can get 0.6, 0.8s. Maybe I'll get a 0.8, some 0.6, 0.8s for these, and have them available. But yeah, what do you guys think? What's your input on it, guys? What do you think of it as a printer? From doing a first Benchy, I will print the scraper. Actually, let me kick that off now. I'll kick off the scraper right now. So let me turn it so I can see what's on the screen. Oh, because the power saving mode, nice. Bambu Labs Benchy, puzzle, spool holder, fan support. I'll do that at some point. Sticking feature. I thought the scraper was in here. There, the scraper by Bambu Labs. What's the difference? That's PLA Labs with. Let's see what it says. Okay, what's this? Scraper by Bambu Labs. I'm just going to read what it says here in the text, guys. PLA. Okay, let's do the scraper. Print. So it's heating to 55 in the bed. Doesn't say nozzle temperature yet. It's a 1 hour and 8 minute, an 8 minute print for the scraper. So, because it does come with a blade. So I'm going to kick off the scraper and get the scraper ready. So I always want you to see what the printer is doing. So I'm coming around to your side. We'll probably get that X1 and add the camera. Yeah, you know, the X1 comes. Oh yeah, because the X1 carbon comes with the camera. The X1 doesn't, I believe. So, but this has a camera kit for it. I have it right here. Because you got this early. Now the camera is not as high resolution. They've openly said that. So this comes with this is your camera unit it comes with as part of the kit. Now that's the early bird kit, which I will add to it once I have the part printed. It also comes with the LED strip that you have to print parts to mount. So you have an LED strip that has to be added to it. Again, that's part of the early bird kit. And you have the additional cooling fan. Now, this cannot print as fast as the X1 or X1 carbon by default because it does not have this fan fitted. When you add this fan, there's a thing you need to. There's one little setting in the profile you need to change for the printer, and because this is blowing additional air current across the part to help cooling, this actually speeds up the cooling and allows you to print faster. One frame per second, and no resolution. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be as good, but it's okay. We'll explore and we'll have some fun with it. Poop shoot. Pooping printers. Shouldn't the bed be up by the nozzles right now? No, it'll do it. It's moving up right now. It was waiting for everything to be heated before it moved it up. So now it's cleaning the nozzle, and it's going to get itself ready. It's in the whole temperature before, to do all of its little bit of resonance testing. It's not as comprehensive as the main one does, but it's getting it ready. It's cleaning the nozzle off the bed at the back while it drops the temperature down. After you're running the poop chute to clean off to purge material, it goes over the bed and cools down the nozzle and actually rubs off the bed like it's doing right now to make sure the nozzle is not oozing. And when it's done with that, now it's going to go off and do its routine. So now it's doing a little bit of a resonance test on the bed, then the Z movement. It's not comprehensive, but it's doing a little bit of one. Now it's doing an ABL on the bed to make sure it's touching correctly. Now it's doing its ABL routine. So I will fit the camera to this once I have the parts printed for it, and I will add it to my network later on. But I'm waiting for them to add the feature to print to LAN, which is supposed to be coming in the slicer. It's there for the X1 and X1 carbon, but it's not there for this machine. So print over LAN is not there, and people have been asking for it, but it's coming. So I've been told. So we let it do its scraper, and I'll put together the scraper, even though I'm hoping to avoid using the scraper because it is a PEI sheet. I shouldn't be scraping anything off the PEI sheet. No, there's no baby stepping. This does it for you. The ABL. I think it has the function in the menu, but I don't think you really need to baby step anything. I didn't have to baby step anything. I took it out of the printer, out of the box, plugged in the pieces that need to be plugged in, which was spool holder, add the screen, remove screws, because when it's shipped to you, the bed is all the way to the bottom, and it's actually held down by 3 long screws like these. That actually stops the bed from shifting at all and moving around in transport. You take out those 3 screws, add a few pieces to a few pieces like the spool holder, the swivel thing part here for the PTFE, your screen, and then it goes through a resonance test and you print. Yeah, it is mostly for scuba, but I'm going to print it anyway. Why not? It's a test print. And I'm sure this is going to be destined to print fast. Now it's doing a first purge line. There it goes. Printing started. And I had to do you don't do ABL or anything. The only thing I did is clean the bed down with alcohol. Because obviously the PEI sheets come with a protective film over them. You need to clean them off. I was curious as the LiDAR takes care of the Z height. It does. No, the LiDAR helps in the Carbon X1. If I remember, as far as I know, I don't have the X1, but from what I've read, the X1 and the X1 Carbon, the LiDAR in that helps assists with the Z height. Doesn't do the work because it does have ABL. But the biggest thing on the LiDAR is when it prints the opening pattern, which is a learning pattern that it does for flow compensation and so on. It prints that, and the LiDAR is used to read that grid it prints to find out where the optimal grid pattern is and where the optimal flow rate is, and it uses that to compensate to do flow compensation. So that's the biggest part of the LiDAR is for flow compensation, as far as I know. It does help with the other part, but it's mostly the other side. What looks pretty funny? Jerry? Dirty mind, keep it out of it. Yes, because Jerry has never seen that shape. That's why I'm not going to go there. Right? I'm going to behave. Burn the free filament. Well, yeah, it's going to burn up the free filament. I have other filaments there I'm going to use, but I'm going to be mostly doing PETG prints on it anyway. So I want to do the PLA here, and it looks like it's laying down a not perfect first layer. Let me show you what the first layer. So maybe Z compensation will be needed at some point in this. So if you zoom in here, you get right over it. You can actually see through those bands. You see? White is a terrible color to show this. But it's not a perfect first layer. There's gaps in each of them. But that will have to be corrected. I think I may have to adjust Z compensation a fraction. It's sticking well, but there are gaps in the layer in it. Use the flow calibration. Yeah, a lot of people turn it off. But this is the first layer in that is not perfect. There is gaps in it. There is, and now the second layer will fix that, but still there are gaps on it. I would say the Z needs to be dropped maybe a fraction, just to make sure those layers bind better, or the flow rate needs to be bumped up a little bit to actually fill in those gaps, one or the other. I'll try it when I slice it myself. I'll do one, see how it looks. If it looks okay, I'll leave it. If not, I might tweak the flow rate a little bit. So why did that stop? Oh, here we go. High speed again. Yes, I'm leaning on it. Because the movements in this are longer, it's not vibrating the surface as bad. Let's see how that looks now, the second layer over. It's okay. There's still a little bit of a there's still, even the second layer, there's some lines over the layers, between the layers. So I think I need to adjust a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. The flow rate probably needs to, when I slice it myself, I'll try one, see how it looks. And if it doesn't look great, I might up the flow rate by a couple of percent to see how it does. Maybe 3 or 4% might fill that gap. Because they're not perfect by any shape. It's not the PEI, it's the problem. It's the amount of filament flowing out of the nozzle is not flowing enough to fill the line. No, it's not sticking. It is sticking very well. It's that it's not extruding enough material, or it's not squishing enough. I think it's not extruding enough material to create the first layer to be completely filled in. There's actually lines between each of the layers, each line of filaments laying down. There's gaps between them. So if I increase the flow rate, that would actually solve that problem. Let me see if I can do it in the menu. Printing. There's no flow rate option here. Printing at 220, which I expect for the speed. Yeah, there's no flow rate option. So I'd have to do it in the slicer when they're doing it. So it's PLA at 220, 55 bed, 56 minutes to go on the print. Each layer is sealing it, but yeah, the flow rate is a little bit low. So I need to up the flow rate when I slice. Possibly, you could be right on that, Miller. Yeah. Let's see. You might need some. No, it's not magical. Yeah, so forever gives you far more adjustment. I went with thicker line with. Yeah, you could either do thicker line with, or actually that might even explain the Benchy issues, the flow rate being off. And why each layer does not bond properly when in the infill overlap as well. Like the layer overlap should be probably 15%. We'll see. I don't know what it is on this, but I'll do some testing on my own to see how it goes. I'm guessing that's doing it at about 300 or 400 millimeters. This is default. This comes with pre-sliced with the printer. So, but I'm guessing around 300 or 400 millimeters is what it's doing right now. It's designed to print at speed. When you print the first piece, it's going to. There's no option to choose here. It's pre-sliced, so I can't choose the option. And there's no option on the menu because the screen is different. It doesn't have the option to make those choices. I can only up or down the speed. I can't choose sport or normal. I think I don't believe so. Let me try. Move over. Yeah, I can't change anything here. There's nothing to change here. All I can do is pause. Yeah, I can't change anything. Oh, maybe here I can. Oh, it's on standard speed. Let's try. This is sport. So that was standard speed. This is sport setting, which is even faster again. So it was on normal speed. Shall we try ludicrous? Let's try. So this is really fast. Let's up it. Let's see how fast we can go. I don't mind if this goes. There's a ludicrous speed. Shall we go? Ludicrous. So this is ludicrous speed, guys. Yeah, I'll bump the temp a little bit. It's on 220 though. So it's doing it at 166%, and I'm gonna come over here and up my temperature to 220, 230. So it's on 230 now on the bed, on the nozzle. But this is ludicrous. Hey Kenneth, how are you? I want to give it a little bit more temp anyway. Kenneth, do not adjust your set. This is the actual print. This is the ludicrous print speed of the Bambu P1P. I'm at 230 is what I updated. It should be okay for PLA. It is a little bit ludicrous, isn't it? Now my question is how good the print is. Because at standard speed, this was okay, but I think it's under extruding a little bit. So I'll have to do the extrusion multiplier. I'll have to modify that a little bit. I'd like to see how it does with an item with 4 walls, 6 top, 6 bottom. That's what I generally use. Sometimes I go down to 3 walls, depending on the part, but 4 is my norm. You're looking at the Bambu. You're looking with the AMS. So you're probably going to look at. Are you going to look at this one, or are you going to look at the carbon, or the X1 or the X1 carbon? So the X1 does not have the metal sides, I believe. The X1 carbon does. The X1 carbon also has a filter on there for high temp, like other materials. Tim, how are you, sir? How is you? So I'm printing on the X1, and I went in and changed. I started printing the scraper. I did a Benchy already. Came out okay. Not great, but it's okay. So I decided to start doing the scraper, and then I found the option in the menu where you can change the print speed. So we're now operating at ludicrous speed to see how it does. We're going with X1 carbon, okay. So yeah, this is a little bit fast, maybe. Oh yeah, they now have a Benchy on there. There's a few others that I haven't done. There's puzzles and so on. The one problem is with their Benchy. I know this is loud, guys. The one problem is they only did 2 top layers and 2 bottom layers. And when you do that, I can show you here on a close-up camera. It doesn't seal and finish. It does the overlap properly on the bottom layers. There's not enough layers to do it. And you can see also the same on the inside here. Let me get that better. See, it didn't close out the top layer because there's not enough top layers, and maybe the layer overlap was not good enough. So it was designed for speed, not for finish. So I'm just going to see how this does in ludicrous. Again, it looks like so you're doing 2 layers. 2 outer walls is not enough. I normally do 4. It kind of does like someone is shredding paper. Oh, my desk is a sturdy desk I built myself, and it's shaking, but the monitor is on a very thin stand. So yeah, you can see the monitor wobble all over the shop. Yeah. Let's see what else there. Canada BL appears to have removed the Benchy from it. But the Benchy is open source. It's free. Like that's unbelievable infill speeds. Imagine how easy your life would be if every printer operated at these speeds and did perfect prints every time. I have to admit, I'm a little giddy about it because it's my first Core XY. I haven't done a Core XY yet. I have a lot of bed singers and Z droppers. I don't have a Core XY, so this is my first Core XY machine. But I like if I can print good quality once I tweak the flow rates, which does need tweaking. It'll become a primary printer for me. On one hand, I want this machine, but the other one, the rat rig, yeah. Ask Tim about rat rigs. He's got the 500 by 500 rat rig. But I haven't. So I upped the temperature to 230 from 220, which is normal when I went to ludicrous speed. I do not know what quality this will be. It doesn't look great, bad from. But I haven't. A lot of it's straight runs. So when you're doing straight runs, it can't be that bad. But I do need to up the flow rate because the first layers I put down, each layer I put down, there was a gap between the lines. So I need to bump the flow rate when I do my own slicing. I'll do one test, see how it looks, and then bump the flow rate until I get it to completely fill the bottom layer. That way, then it should print better. Well, Bambu, I haven't heard of Bambu have plans for a 300 size printer, but like my largest printer is 500 by 500 by 600, and it's a bed singer, but it prints and it prints fine. But the Bambu Labs, there is another printer coming out that's similar to the Bambu Labs. They haven't released it yet, and its volume will be 300 by 300 because they listened to the community saying no, we want minimum of 300 by 300 bed, and they actually are resizing the machine before they release it. I did get the bonus parts. I will be printing the parts for it. I'm going to check flow rates on this first, and then I will print the parts for it. I've also designed my own side panels. I only added my logo to them is all I did. I had a little box, and then my logo stands out from the box in the side panels. But I will be doing the side panels as well for it. So I do have the kit, and I will print the parts for that to add them to it. Once I get a flow rate right, which I'll tweak later on to them sometime during the day, I will then go off and do those parts. For someone that does big prints, I do a lot of big prints, and I like large volume because when I'm doing stuff like toys and stuff, I do toys for tots every year. Doing the toys and a large volume, you can do more. Now this will do them faster. I already timed on the slicer a train. A train on a bed singer takes about, with adaptive infill, takes about, adaptive infill and adaptive layers takes about 9 or 10 hours. On this, I did one on the slicer here. It takes about 3.5 to 4 hours, and that's at the standard setting. They haven't, well, because they're changing the size. They had a price of about $1,000 because it kind of looks like this, but it's kind of more like the X1 Carbon look and feel. But they're looking at $1,000, so it's be on the same power price wise as the X1. So, but I haven't seen how fast it prints. But I've seen some stuff of how fast it prints. But now they're going to resize it, so I don't know how that's going to change the price. We have to wait and see. This is their Bambu Labs matte white PLA, and this is the ludicrous speed setting. It's probably around 400 millimeters. I don't think you can go to 500 without the additional fan on the side. My nozzle's at 230. The layers look okay. Let's see how much time is left in it. Um, that's temperature. 240. Go back. Go back. Oh. 22 minutes to finish this. So I'm at 240 in the nozzle, 55 bed, and it's printing of normal speed up at 166%. So normal is fast. I was really impressed with normal. This is way beyond it, the normal speed. They're a brand new company. I'd have to look up the names. I'd have to find their names. I just saw they've been doing some posts about it. I just can't remember their name. I'd have to find it for you. But they haven't released that machine yet anyway, so anything they've shown so far was for the machine around this size, but they're now resizing it to a larger machine. So I'm watching what's happening. It's not doing layer overlaps. That's the problem. That's why the quality of the top layers is not good, and it's not doing enough top layers. So this is top layer speed, by the way, at Ludicrous. This is top layer speed. But you can see the nozzle is not quite overlapping. Yeah, I'm holding my bench so my monitor doesn't shake itself off the bench. You can Tim might be able to answer that. I know you asked him. I'm guessing you might be able to. It won't be the normal LDO kit, but maybe you can. You can reach out to LDO and ask them if you get a go to LDO. Ping Jason at LDO Motors. That's what I would suggest. I don't have a Voron. Maybe I'll get a Voron at some point. That'll be a fun build. Tim has so many Vorons now. What is it, 5 of them, I believe? Or 4 at least. Yes. In comparison to what this machine is, let me show a comparison to that machine. Come on, focus. See, 60 millimeters compared to the one in the corner. We got 4. Big difference in speed. Oh, that's an IDEX. So are all the ones on that shelf. I have 4 IDEX machines. But still, vast difference in speed. Even its standard speed is vastly different. Let's see, we have 4 of them. I would build another printer unless it's at 300Q. So I think this other one that's coming out is going to be at 300. And it's going to be like this. It's going to be square wide. I have a 500 5x5 bed, which I use but not extensively. Turtle mode, pretty turtles. That's very good. Yes, I agree with you. So yes, it is pretty turtles, and it's at 50 or 60 millimeters. But it's mostly walls. That's an awful lot of walls in that. There's 4 walls, and it needs to be strong so it won't break easy. So that's rocking it. And I'd probably print the parts that this needs to upgrade to. I'll print them on this machine. I'm just watching the Bambu is there. But we need more machines that print fast on the market. There's not enough of them. I think we've been running at 30, 40, 50, 70 millimeters print speeds for 20 years or more, 25 years. I think it's time we more of this type of speed print because it's needed. Hey Saginac, how are you? So it's afternoon for us. For me, it's after 1 o'clock. But this is printing at a printer's. Oh, okay. The hair. Sorry, I misread. So it's set at ludicrous speeds. So it's doing a top layer right now. But it's been at ludicrous speed. It's just obscenely fast, or ludicrously fast. I suppose is the right term to use. You'll see in a moment. Yeah, I know. I know the story. Let's see. You'll see it now once it finishes this piece. Yeah, there's ludicrous speeds. This is a test piece. Who cares about quality? I want to see it move so fast. That's all I care about. Now, one thing you must remember: when the percentage completed on any printer, it says that's based on the number of lines of G code it needs to run. So even 60% doesn't mean 60% of the work is done. It means 60% of the G code has been run. So a lot of people don't realize that. 60, like you'll get if you have one part taller than the other, 60% means this one may be 40% of the G code still of lines. So a lot of people don't realize that. The technologies are doing fast printing. Companies need to adapt to it, and users need to be willing to pay. And I think the more it's used, the prices will come down anyway, right? Yeah, the display. I don't like the menu in it. I don't like the display, but it is what it is. But once you get it paired with your phone or the software, you don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's top layers at ludicrous speeds. It's a little ludicrous. I think this small piece back here is done. It's just a scraper and its stand. And it's another top layer going on. I think it only does 2 top layers, maybe 3. I normally would do 6 top, 6 bottom to get a better solid finish. I think Jerry does the same. I think you do 6. I do 6, 6, and 4 walls is what I do normally. Sometimes I drop it to 3 if I want it to be somewhat translucent light. But like I do 3 if I'm using transparent Benchy. That's looking better in the finish because it had more top layers than the Benchy was. The Benchy had some flaws in it, but it only had 2 top layers. So that's why. Oh, it's just writing text now. Bambu Labs, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's just a logo and text. The camera comes with the gift is horrible. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna fit that kit to it. I might use that because it only does 1 frame per second, which is not great. But for your doing time lapse, it's fine. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so once I'm done here, and like I might finish this a little bit early because it's printing okay. Um, we're both Jerry and I are going to be jumping on a stream with LA Hobby Guy. Jerry just posted the link on over his in 50 minutes. He's doing a stream about lasers and so on, and he opened it up for someone to come join him. So Jerry and I will be jumping on. I may not go straight there, but I will join in a while. I want to see how this is. Let me show you how this is looking right now. White is such a horrible color for test prints. But that's what it gave me. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, you can't even see the text because it's white. Oh, camera froze. Perfect. Oh well. Camera froze. Sorry, I missed the stream yesterday. The time of the yeah, it goes onto the SD card, and that's okay. You just copy it off; it's fine. Like you're going to use time lapse when you're doing videos anyway, so you capture the videos, you time lapse it, you're done. And downloading it off the SD card is easy. Hey, this so those kind of no worries, will always be there. So this is printing the last piece. And I believe it's this magnetic stand to put the scraper onto. So that attaches to the printer and it uses magnets to attach. Yeah, I can fix that if I really wanted to, but I don't really want to. I just go back in here. Go deactivate, activate. Studio mode. So I can show you again. Oh, I'm dropping pieces. This is like a Tim stream. Watch that thing go. That's doing layers. Oh, okay. That's because the default print has only got 2 layers. You need to do 4 walls and 6 top, 6 bottom layers to make it strong. Where is it? There it is. See, white is such a bad color for the test print. If they did a gray, when you do your test prints, the stuff shows up. You can't see good test prints when they're doing white. See, the text barely shows up there. It's too white. Yeah, white's a bad test print color. They should use a gray or a red or not even black. It's not even good, but the grays are good. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. This part is just finishing anyway. Let's see what it says on the menu. It says 10 minutes left. Will we wait 10 minutes? I'm going to wait the 10 minutes. 9 minutes now. I'll wait 9 minutes because I want to see the quality and then we'll hang up. Take care, Chris. I'm going to wait 10 minutes for this part to finish just because we can. It's only 10 minutes. We'll be done before the bottom of the hour. Hey, Shane. Potatoes. How are you, Shane? So, the P1P, Shane, printing at ludicrous speed. I printed a standard and I upped the temperature and I set it off onto ludicrous speed just to see what ludicrous speed looked like. And the name is apt. I know, it says 10 minutes. At this speed, I think it will be 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll have to open it, Jerry. So sure, give me a second. I need to log into Tinkercad. I actually did it on Tinkercad because I was only linking my file, my design with it. Let me log in. Give me a second. Oh, that's why. 1 second. I need to do something over here. 1 second, Jerry. I'll share that one screen out in a second. Just let me get it loaded up. Present. So this is what I've done as my. So I just took one of the existing sides that they have, and I embedded my logo into it. With one for left and one for right. So this is what I did. So I'll print this out on the printer later on. I'm probably going to do it out of PETG, more than likely. Once I get the PETG logo, so that will become my site. You print it the other way around, obviously. But I just brought it into Tinkercad, and I took the two things and I merged them together. It was easier, faster to do it that way. Yeah, Jerry, I know. Yeah, Jared has both. Yeah, and I saw he's a picture of both. Well, what I'm thinking of doing is, if I take my logo and actually make my logo a whole and take it out of it, because I don't have the MS. If I do that, I can then print the logo in a semi-transparent or even clear pitchy, and then when print the side and then insert the other part into it. I can do it multiple colors. Hey, Jared. Yeah, we're all the cool kids are joining the gang. So what I might do is I still might modify it again. As I said, get my logo, make my logo an actual turn it into a hole, and take it away from the sides. And if I do that, I can print it with the logo part missing. The only one problem is the O, the letters that are like the A, the R, and the O, the P, and so on will have. You can't print a hole, right? Because there has to be something there. But I might print it that way and modify it a little bit to add that to it. That way, then I can print it and then do the other one is clear and merge them. Hot pink? No, I'm not going to do it hot pink. I leave that just for you, Shane. I know that's your favorite color, so I'll leave you with the hot pink. Yeah, so this is almost done. Because it doesn't have enough top layers, you can actually see the support from the inside, a little bit of coming through. It only has 2 outer walls. It needs 4 to get a cleaner finish. You know, I've done 2 prints on this faster than I can even finish 1 print on that. And I started that hours beforehand, and it won't be finished for hours more. This will be going for almost 6 hours since this morning. So yeah. No, that's Shane's color, John. You're getting it mixed up. Shane is the hot pink guy. He likes hot pink. So a couple of minutes left, maybe 6-7 minutes. I like the way the screen goes quiet because it goes into sleep mode. I think it's to save the screen. When you're doing large parts of speed, it's not vibrating as much. When you're doing stuff like small components at high speed, everything shakes. I printed a scraper, but only used for opening boxes. Yeah, that's probably what I would look at it as well. You're more of a Pepto-Bismol. Oh, not hot pink. Okay, I stand corrected. This is almost there, but so far it looks good. It does need some tweaking. Their pre-slice files need a little work. Its extrusion rate needs to be up to fraction, which I'll do in a slicer. I'll do a test with what's default in the slicer, see how it looks, and I may bump it a little bit. It needs to be a little bit higher because each of the first layers are not overlapping. They're laying them down individually as layers, and they're not actually merging. And there's gaps between them, so I do need to up the extrusion rate a little bit. I've had nothing come loose so far. I've done the Benchy, come off. That's textured PEI, and the Benchy was fine. This has nothing has come loose in this, and it has a small part here, the back corner, and that has not moved. They do come off easy, but this is a textured PEI bed. Let me show you how good what the print quality looks like. You can see the infill showing through a little bit there. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Or maybe I'll get better from up here. No. There we go. You can see some of the lines from the infill showing through because there's not enough outer walls. It looks good. It's okay. With only 2 walls, it looks fine. Mr. Diesel, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Thank you so much, sir. Much appreciated. Cool. I'm glad you're happy with it. Yeah, I know you're clear, Mont, yeah. Seems that you have been seen as a Rainbow Bright collection. See, this is why we love why we love John, you know. This probably got about 5 minutes left. Let me see what the screen says. One minute left, it says. It's got 1 minute left, is what it says. I know, Shane. Shane, don't laugh at him. It only encourages him. Don't do that. You know, you shouldn't do that. It's like behaving. It's like rewarding bad behavior in a kid. Just don't do that. We can make fun of John because he does it to us, and because he's our friend online, so and he can take it. Okay, so we're starting to do the top layers, the first top layer. Again, not enough layer overlap. There's a lot of gaps on the outside. Layer 2 is a little better. There's still gaps there. This is layer 3 top. It needs one more, at least. There we go. 4 top layers. I hope so too. This year has been a bit of a quiet year. I don't know why, but like see for the last few months there's been some shipping for stuff out of China has got really expensive, so they're being very selective who they're sending stuff to. So I haven't been as lucky as I have been in the past. I've done a lot of unboxings over the years, and we're done. So let me get the biggest part off the bed. Oh, that came off really easy. And I'm going to look at this with a close-up camera. So, as you can see, banding here. Come on, focus. There's banding there. It's not so bad. Not too bad. And the bottom layer, you can see through it because the layers are so thin. But you can see the lines there because it didn't merge the lines when it laid them down. The curved surfaces, again, because of the infill, you can see them showing through. And the top layer, the final top layer had 4. Let me turn on the side so it shows better with the light. So that's not bad. It's pretty good. So you need at least 4 because 4 here finished it well. There wasn't 4 on the bottom, so it doesn't look as good. And the outer wall has only got 2 outer walls, which is why the infill is showing through. When you look at it, you can see the lines here from the infill because it doesn't have enough outer walls. I think if you up the outer walls to 4, it would look way, way better. But not bad. This part came out easy enough. Again, the bottom is not great. It needs more bottom layers, but it looks okay. And this one comes off Bambu Lab. Top surface looks okay. Again, extrusion rate is not perfect, but I can fix that later. Extrusion, you can see it here easily. If you look on this at this angle, you see the gaps between the layers because the extrusion rate is a little low. Put my hand here for focus. See it there? You can see the gaps between the lines. Yeah, I'm trying to get it at a good angle so the light hits it properly. There, you see the gaps between the lines? They shouldn't be there. Because it's white, it's really hard to get it to focus properly on it. But there is gaps between the first layer lines. So the extrusion rate's a little low, which I can fix in the slicer when I slice my own parts later on today. But all in all, it prints well, it prints fast. The part is decent. So there's the Bambu Labs P1P. I know a lot of guys out there already have them. I think it prints fine. I don't see an issue with the print quality. Really, it needs tweaking, but it's not really bad. It's not. I've seen way worse straight out of the box. Yeah, white is so hard to get focus on. A darker color, getting focus is easy, and a brighter color it's really hard because white reflects so much light, so it's hard for the camera to focus. But the contrast is too bright. Anyway, Bambu Labs P1P. I do not have a link below because they didn't sponsor this. But it's so far it looks like a good machine. I do need to do some tweaking on the extrusion rates on the slicer when I slice my own part, but it looks good. If anyone have any questions, you can ask them now. You can ask them in chat later on the video once it's posted on YouTube. It'll also be up on Twitch. I'll actually save it on Twitch and post it on Twitch, so it'll be one of my saved contents. And it's obviously going to be out there in Facebook as well if anyone has any questions. But we have 30 people watching right now. Thank you, guys. Yeah, this thing is printed at an amazing speed. The ludicrous speed is actually ludicrous. And the print quality seems, with a small few tweaks, it'll print really well. Few small, like this only got 2 walls. There's no real strength in this. It bends. But overall, it prints fine. I can't wait to see what it's going to turn out once I do some tweaking on the settings to get better flow rates and stuff out of it. And once I get those right, I can't wait to see what it looks like. All right, guys, I think that's it. Remember, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, as Jerry said, ding that bell so you get notified when I go live. If you're over on Twitch, subscribe to me on Twitch. And if you're on YouTube and haven't followed me on Twitch yet, get your butt over and start follow me on Twitch. It's free to follow on Twitch. It's good. Come over and follow me on there. And if you're into watching people 3D printing for charity, there's a stream called Charity Makers, which I run, where we do the Toys for Tots stuff out there. And Matt German goes on there when he's doing prints for charity. I'll be reactivating my cameras on that shortly. So please check that out as well. Charity Makers as one word over on Twitch as well. Go follow that. Doesn't cost you a penny. My Twitch link, sure. Yeah, it's just twitch.tv/astroprinter. There you go. And if you want to follow Charity Makers, it's twitch.tv. Did I spell that right? Charity Makers. So that's the Charity Makers one as well. I said there's one person on there right now. I'll be going back on because my cameras were doing weird stuff. Even though it's a separate camera, it was doing weird stuff because I was doing two setups on the same machine. So once I shut down StreamYard and so on here, and OBS, I will reactivate my camera that's watching this printer behind me, the IDEX machine printing. Thank you all. Thank you guys. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, whatever you have to do on the social medias. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on most of the socials, but so I'll see you on there. I do hangouts on Tuesday nights. This afternoon, in about 25 minutes, I'll be on the LA Hobbit guys channel. He'll be talking about lasers, and he's invited Jerry and myself to join him. So I'll be on his channel starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is in just over 20 minutes time. So see you over there if you have time. If not, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you. And I watch for more updates on what's happening with this after I do some tweaks with this to show more print quality on Instagram and on TikTok and all this kind of stuff. I'll show more and more about the quality and what I'm getting out of this. And then eventually I'll put it into full production. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. If you're off tomorrow, if you're in the US and you're off tomorrow for MLK Day, have a great extended weekend, and I'll see you Tuesday night. I may actually pop on for a while tomorrow for a short while. Thank you and take care.